Hey guys, I'm Nito King, this is Space Quest 4, and last time we managed to escape from the sequel police yet again, and we finally got a little bit of direction in the game. The Space Quest 4 hint book, within the game, told us to go to Ulence Flats in Space Quest 1. Unfortunately, it didn't tell us why we came here or what we're supposed to be doing, so I guess I'm just going to have to look around and figure it out. Well, Tiny seems to have shrunk his lot quite a bit.
You've obviously found the location of Tiny's used spaceships. Lucky you! This must be the Yugo of spaceships. You wonder why anyone would bother to lock it. At the bottom of this excavation is a small craft almost totally buried in dirt. You remember barely making it back out when the engine died. This ship is not for sale.
Alright, nothing much going on over here. I'm gonna avoid the bar just for the moment and head around the long way.
In the distance you see sand dunes and sky.
Yeah, I guess they kind of have to tell us that, because it doesn't look much like a sky to me. Oh, they're closed.
The sign indicates that this establishment is not open for business. For all of your droid-related needs, see us when we're open.
Not a whole lot to be done here.
It tastes like nothing you'd ever want to put your tongue on again.
Moving on.
This must be the back of the bar. Some fading graffiti adorns the wall. You don't know what it says, but you're sure it's not flattering.
And as far as I know, there's no alphabet for that in the game. It's just scribbles. Here's something. Some nice music.
As you check out the sand bikes, you wonder what kind of cheeseball would own one. This long-legged beauty stands silently, waiting for its jet-faced owner to return. It looks like it came from the planet of the warts. This ship must be the Plantar's deluxe model, with authentic mosaic upholstery. The sign suggests that this place might be a bar.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Having a drink might help me along in this game. Or I'm going to stumble around drunkenly and unable to control myself.
The old bar is still here. The smell of Coronian ale stinks up the place. The aroma leads you to remember vividly your previous visit here. You break out in a cold sweat.
Those are some giant pixels, except those guys at the bar look pretty detailed. Kinda out of place for this game.
You see two guys singing. They don't have time to talk right now. It's probably the most nauseating thing to smell in the whole family of smells.
Alright, nothing much to do with them. Let's check out these guys at the bar, see what they're up to.
Well, looky here. If it ain't Mr. Look at Me, I'm in VGA. What's the matter? Monochrome not good enough for you? What's this? 256 colors all for one little bitmap wimp? What a waste of VGA. Hey, fellas, I bet I can toss them all the way out from the bottom of the stairs. Bitchin' ale.
Those monochrome fellows are pretty unpleasant. I think I'll go back in there and give them a piece of my mind. I think they threw me even farther the second time. Alright, well, it's time to take matters into my own hands. Which usually means saving the game first. Shades of Police Quest, run! I love their theme, but you very soon come to fear it utterly.
Boy, that was close. Hey, how come their bikes can go through the force field?
Because the force field is there to protect you from the Grell, which lives underground, and anybody in a floating vehicle is able to get through it. Don't you remember anything from the first game, Roger? That's why you had to get a skimmer. You remember the skimmer.
You
Nobody...
hear a high-pitched whine from the east.
Speaking of skimmers...
Boy, that was close.
You gotta dodge at just the right time. But now that those guys have cleared out...
Hey, aren't you the guy who broke my slot machine? You owe me some money.
Well, I gotta run. My hog pod's double parked. Hey, it's been swell talking to you.
So why did I come back in here?
You see a book of matches on the bar countertop.
No, I see one white pixel, but I need it.
You pick up the book of matches.
And there we go. That's what I came in here for.
You see a man behind the bar serving drinks. It's probably the most nauseating thing. It would serve no purpose.
Except maybe getting me something to drink. Oh well. But yeah, the Book of Matches is all that you need from Space Quest 1. And to get it, you gotta deal with these guys trying to run you over in a skimmer. But... yeah, I don't really know why I'm obsessively saving here.
You hear a high-pitched whine from the east. Boy, that was close.
And there we go. I'm not gonna have to deal with those guys again until I leave the screen. So, might as well go ahead and save while I'm safe, and then see if I can get them to appear again, so I can show you what happens if you actually let yourself get run over. Or if your timing for dodging them is just slightly off. Pretty sure one of them would appear in that screen, but they don't. So in all my exploration, about the only thing I've managed to do is get them to reappear if I come back into this screen.
You hear a high-pitched whine from the west.
Alright, so this time I'm going to dodge way early.
Boy, that was close.
Alright, didn't work. So I kept wandering around after that, never found them again, so I just restored and made the same loop as before.
You hear a high-pitched whine from the west.
Alright, this time way, way early.
Nice reflexes. Life is pounded loose from your body by the impact of the sand bike. Now this is a pain that'll linger. All the Bengay in Florida won't relieve this stiffness.
And sadly, it's a message we've heard before. So, no more screwing around with bikes, let's just get out of here. Take a chance to finally look at my prize.
A book of matches. Don't mess with it.
The problem is that, once again, I have no idea where to go. I don't know what these matches are good for, or anything. So we have to think way back to the beginning of the game, where the whole purpose of coming out here in the first place was we're trying to save Xenon from Sludge Bohol, way in the future in Space Quest 12. So, I guess we gotta go back there and figure out what to do about it. Hopefully, you remember to write down the time code in your rendition of the game to get back to Space Quest 12, because there's no other way to proceed.
The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time-rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally...
Well, the sequel police are gone. That's a good sign. I think they're all looking for me in other time sectors, leaving their base, thankfully, unguarded. So let's screw with them a bit.
This is the Sequel Police Dispatch Monitor. At the moment, nothing is being displayed. You are unable to do anything with that now.
Oh well. Fat lot of good that did. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys going back to the surface. Maybe now it'll actually
You climb
work.
up into the landing gear housing. How clever you are.
I think maybe before the game just wasn't expecting me to go right back down to the ground, bugged out or something. And nope, nothing I can do. At all. We're broken once again. As far as I can tell, there's just no way to get back to the ground in the version that I'm playing, and I don't know whether it's because I'm using a patched version, or whether any version of it running under DOSBox would break. I'll have to try it out sometime. I'm going to play through the game with the unpatched version, so that I can show you guys some of the differences for the bonus video. Until then, that ship is a death trap.
Your innate sense of curiosity makes you wish you knew the way to open this thing. None of the codes you punch in seem to have any effect on the door.
Well, I gotta get in. Maybe it needs some kind of ID, and I've only got one.
You can't use that here. It would serve no purpose.
The ATM card doesn't work anywhere. Alright, well I do have one other thing that'll get me through a door.
Well, there's not much left of the lock now.
Told you that acid would come in handy. And now a perfectly safe corridor with a keypad. Well, I definitely don't want to screw with the keypad.
It's very pleasant looking.
Alright, I don't see anything stopping me from proceeding further.
We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload.
Well, I guess what you don't see can hurt you. The question is, how do I determine what that is so that I can get past it? Now this is the place where you need to use the matches you picked up, as well, yeah, going into the wrong menu, as well as the cigar.
You slide the conveniently pre-moistened stogie between your lips, apply a lit match, and proceed to nearly hack up a lung.
Yeah, that sounds bad, but check this out.
You you cast the old stogie to the ground.
Now I can see the lasers.
The laser beams glow in the smoky air.
Alright, so it should be no problem to work my way past them now that I can see them. I guess Roger's too stupid to figure it out.
We're glad.
No, as a matter of fact, this is where I have to start using the keypad. And not knowing what to type in, I'll just type in any old thing. No, I'm just kidding. Now, I know exactly what it is that I need to type in here. The numbers that you're typing in are rotation angles for these rings. And I meant to type in 30 and accidentally typed in 300. So that one's way out of alignment. But you need to orient all of these so that the beams are perfectly vertical so that you can walk through. And I believe they go in 15-degree increments, so anything less than a multiple of 15 just doesn't work. And there's the first one aligned. Now, the first time I got up to this point in the game, I had the cigar, I had the matches, but I didn't know that that was what you were supposed to do here. And I just trial and errored my way through. Oh, too far with that one. So I would put in 15 for the first ring, notice that it rotated, and then save my game and try to walk through it. When it didn't work, then I would restore, hit 0 for the next 2 rings, and 15 for the first one again, and just keep going until I could walk through it, and repeated the process for each of the 3 rings, until I was able to get to the other side without ever actually seeing the beams. It was a slow process, and definitely not the way you're intended to do it, but it worked, and it makes going to Space Quest 1 entirely redundant. This way is still much easier.
You can't do that.
Which is quite fortunate.
It's probably the most nauseous. It tastes like nothing you'd ever want to put your tongue on again.
It tastes like burning. We'll move on even deeper into the complex, and this is the actual complex part of the complex. And it's a maze. Hooray!
You can't reach it from this level.
Alright, but there is one on my level. Let's check that out.
You hear an electronic hum approaching from ahead of you. Slot A. Insert terminal plug here.
So now I know what type of terminal plug I need by looking at the connector.
It would serve no purpose.
And I can't even use it in the inset. I have to actually use it in the main window here.
The Pocket Pal doesn't plug in directly. Maybe you need some kind of adapter. Now you knew he was coming, didn't you?
I sure did, and it's kind of a shame he didn't get onto the screen far enough for me to actually see him. So for now, he's the mysterious being that shot us with a laser. We'll get to see him eventually, I'm sure. Till then, I'm going to head back in and take a look at something that has led a lot of people astray in this game. Look at the connector again, it's the same one, even though I hadn't actually looked at it before. I believe the shape of the connector
You hear an
is...
electronic hum approaching from behind you.
Yeah, I don't care, I'm getting out of here. I believe the shape of the connector, and possibly even the time codes, are set when you start the game. So a lot of people would save a game back at the Galaxy Galleria, make their way up to this point in the game, look at the connector, then restore their old game, buy the connector, and then get through the game again to get to this point. And that's just silly. Because now, since I've escaped from the Space Quest 10 time sector, the sequel police aren't looking for me there either. At least as far as I know. So, again, Assuming that you wrote down the time code to get back to the Galaxy Gallery, you can just return there, now that you know which connector you need to buy, and make the purchase. So, fortunately, again, I wrote down the code. Plus, I was recording the game screen at the time, so I could just take a screenshot, and the code is sitting right there. What's weird is, this one only uses 4 different numbers.
The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time-rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally...
I'm sure that annoys you by now, but you know you're gonna miss it when it's gone. You know. What's weird is, it's still playing the Ms. Astro Chicken theme, even though the machine is blown up. And again, obsessively saving when I have absolutely no need to do so, because there's nothing much threatening around here. And there's something that someone wanted me to do while I was here. They requested that I try smelling and tasting the walkway, so let's go ahead and do that.
You attempt to smell the moving walkway and end up filing down your nose slightly. Very well. You give the moving walkway a warm kiss. Now you both feel special. Dragging your tongue along the window brings you to the realization that it hasn't been washed in a long, long time. You know that eating plastic plants places pressure on your plumbing. You learned that reading Janitorial Digest.
Yeah, now I don't want to go back to the lobby, I don't think. Well... Okay, I guess the sequel police aren't even standing guard here, but I bet if I tried to leave through the parking garage, they're still guarding that exit. The game's not going to let me walk around freely, and software access is still closed. Most of the stores don't open again, but Radio Shack sure did. Hi there, you're awfully loud. Oh, it was under electronic gadgets. Just skip through the pages to the last one. Almost there. And here we go. 1937. Ooh, 1951. And we just have to look for the plug that looks like Niro in katakana. Yes, that's how I remember it. Don't judge me. So now I've got my connector. But the question is, what if I had put the money in earlier? You can't just walk away without buying one, so I might have gotten the wrong one. It's not a special, so is it actually possible to get an exchange?
It would serve no purpose. Nothing happens.
Okay, well I can't just give it to him, so I guess I have to go through and attempt to buy another one. Hey, the order button turned into exchange. But does it work? Indeed, if you get the wrong connector, you can come back here and get a different one. But I got the right connector, so I'm going to pick the same one. Now here's the point at which I used to think it was impossible to come back and get an exchange, just because I hadn't tried it before. We'll take this plug and actually connect it to the terminal.
You attach the plug to the Pocket Pal.
And now there's no way to get it back out.
This is just a dumb terminal. It won't do anything by itself. This is just a dumb terminal. It won't do anything by itself.
Alright, so if we don't actually have the connector in inventory, can we exchange it? I know you're all on the edge of your seats here, particularly those of you with old saves where you got the wrong connector and you need to know, can you salvage it?
Pocket.
Yes, you can! And the best part is he helpfully plugs the new connector into the terminal for you, so you don't have to go back and do it on your own. And so that the game doesn't award you double points for it or something crazy like that. So, the plug is still there. Okay, we can't tell, but trust me, it is. So, with all of that done, the only thing that we need to do is return to Volhall's complex and take him out once and for all. See you guys when I do that next time.